now take you to the broadcast of It's Time with Reverend Nathaniel W. Martin. Here's Reverend Martin.
Thank you, Dr. Blackwell. And let me say Hotep Habaragani to my Africana studies, colleagues, contemporaries, and friends and seekers after the truth. All, my name is the Reverend Nathaniel Wayne Martin. I'm the pastor of the New Life Institutional Baptist Church here in the city of Los Angeles. And the offering that you are viewing is a social justice offering entitled It's Time. And the thing about time and social justice, there's a broad subject. That's what your English teacher would tell you. And we try to break it down as social justice and speak about the environment which we are ruining, and then how we are in turn affected by the environment. Remember, we didn't choose to be in the zip codes that we started out in. We would have liked to have been up in the healthy areas, healthy environments, but unfortunately, because of the impact of racism, we were denied that choice or denied that freedom. And so consequently, we are exposed to the zip code afflictions that one has to be exposed to. I was thinking about the medical director there in Louisville, Kentucky, and he said that your life span is cut by could be cut up to as much as 20 years, depending on your zip code. If you can move from the healthy zip code where you live into your 90s and be subjected to the environments where you won't live into your 90s. You, as they say, you may die 20 years earlier, 10 years earlier, because of your environment exposes you to more pollution in the air, more pollution in the ground, and the foods, the places where you are, well, I won't say forced to shop, but if you don't have transportation, you're not going to be able to go out of your area to shop. And so you'll be exposed to more fast food places, and on every corner and every block, and too much fried chicken, and too many hamburgers, corn dogs, and what do they call them, chicken strips, and the like, and the fish ain't no better. That's your basic choice of food to eat. Then your health is going to suffer accordingly. We don't even get good vegetables in our supermarkets no more. And a lot of times the supermarkets in my zip code, I won't say your zip code, are the meat that they didn't sell in the good zip codes. They sent it down to the stores in my zip code, and we're forced to buy that food and cook that food and eat that food, and so the impact of the racism still goes on, even unintentionally. But when you build a country or a nation on a fallacy like racism and the like, then you have to recognize the consequences, rather, are going to be vicious. And that is what we are experiencing and what we are forced to deal with in our culture. Proverbs 14:34 says, righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. And I found a text here in Isaiah 21, which has always intrigued me because it is so salient and cogent. Read it to you now. Isaiah 21, picking up the reading at verse number 11. It says, the burden of Dumah. He called to me out of Seir, watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? The watchman said, the morning cometh, and also the night. If you will inquire ye, return, come. That is what speaks to us as a people, us as a nation, we as children of God, as church folks. We are called by God to be a watchman. Watchman is another word for guard. And as I said to you before, so I say to you now, you have to tell the people, warn the people, make the people aware. You can't be, like a sleeping guard dog. You got dogs, a dog got to bark when somebody try to break in the house. Otherwise, what you got a dog for? You don't need no dog that sleep. And the burglar is coming in, or the worst, the murderer is coming in the house, and you're not warned. The dog don't bark, tell you, wake up, somebody's coming to kill you. And so that is basically what watchman is. Watchman got to bark, got to make a noise, got to wake you up. And in the military, you don't let the enemy get up on you. You see the enemy or hear the enemy far off, and you wake up the people that you are guarding, or who have put you in that position, whether it's a battalion, a regiment, or platoon, or squadron, or a fire team. You have to alert your people to the coming danger. And really, what we have in America is danger all the way around. Danger to our health, danger to our education, and all of these manifestations of danger, we have to not only be aware of, but take time to get our defenses ready so that we can protect ourselves. The other scripture I look at is Ephesians chapter 6, which I often read because it is so applicable to our days and our weeks and our months. Ephesians 6, picking and reading up at verse 11, it says, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that is because you looking at a human being, but you have to take into account what is powering that human being, what is motivating that human being. Why is the policeman so vicious? And you're being as nice as you can be. You're talking calmly and respectfully, and you're compliant, but yet the police person is aggressive and the like. Case in point, George Floyd, how the man put his knee on his neck, and he knew he was killing him, and he kept on holding his knee on his neck. He wouldn't release him. Even when the person, George Floyd, told him, I can't breathe, you know what I'm saying? Even when he called out to his mama, who was already deceased, he never removed his knee. Even when the people on the sidelines said, man, he's dead, he didn't remove his knee. So he kept his knee on George Floyd's neck past the point where he could have been resuscitated by CPR. It's as though he knew how long it would take to actually kill him. And so these things make us aware that you have to have what is motivating an individual, what is motivating a law enforcement officer, a peace officer. Why are they so cruel? And Devontae Williams was killed by a combination of hospital personnel and the sheriffs who who kneeled on his back past the point where he could breathe, and he told them, "I can't breathe," but that didn't matter to him. And so you can reason from there that the motivations of people are not always godly, or their motives may not be pure. And that is why the writer says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It may be a policeman on your neck, but the devil is motivating him to stay there until you expire. Because the devil believes in death and suffering and the like. And you can't take for granted, therefore, that the person that you are facing, or that is assaulting you, or that is trying to block you from achieving your goals or achieving your prize, or whatever it may be. It may be just the person behind the counter, the person behind the glass. Even though you are smiling and talking calmly, but they may be motivated by demonology. And so you got principalities, you got powers, you got the rulers of the darkness of this world against spiritual wickedness in high places. So you don't always know, you don't always recognize that the person you are trying to reason with or trying to do business with may not have your best interest at heart. Is that right? All right. So now looking at voting rights. Pennsylvania has instituted a law that affects early voting. So if you fill out your ballot early and do everything right, but you don't put the correct address on the outside of the envelope, then they're going to throw your ballot in the bin. I won't say trash, but that's what it's going to be. And so your entire vote is going to be discounted. And while I'm on that subject, your vote is priceless. Don't ever let anybody make you think that your vote don't matter. And just like somebody's coming up to you and says, that dollar you got doesn't mean anything. It's worthless. You may as well give me that dollar. You don't give your money away to nobody just because they say it's not worth anything. Your vote is valuable. Why did they lynch people to keep them from voting? Why was it in the early years of this country only white people could vote? Not even white women could vote. Only white men could vote. In fact, in the beginning of this country, only landed white men could vote. The white women couldn't vote. And we were slaves, so definitely we wasn't going to vote. And even if you were free, you didn't vote. And so the only people in office were what at that time was what? White men. And by the time of the Civil War, the South had attained to the chairmanships of all of the important committees and the like, and they were having their way until God pulled our kingdom down, And then even after that, when we first had the vote, but then they took the vote away from us. Why did they take the vote away from us? Because your vote matters. It's like money in the pocket. And I use the example of the $1 bill, but your vote is priceless. Your vote is priceless, yes. And so you would throw away a $100 bill because you know the value of $100. And so your vote is valuable. It's valuable far past $100. So don't be deceived by those that tell you your vote doesn't count. Your vote does count. You got to cast your vote, and then you got to follow your vote to that person's office. You can get to them by email and say, you're not doing what you promised me you were going to do. Your vote matters. And so make your vote count. And don't take your vote for granted. Cherish that vote. Because that's how this country is won. That's what Donald Trump is trying to get back in office so that he can stop you from voting. If you looked at his commercial, he has a commercial out there where he's saying, Christians, I'm a Christian too. You can't make this stuff up, folks. And he says to the camera, to the people that will listen to him, will hear him, after I get in office, you won't have to vote no more. And he means that. So you recognize the value of your vote. Your vote determines the price of food in the store. It determines whether your street is going to get the potholes filled in, or whether your street is going to be shelled, or whether it's going to be asphalt, or whether your vote determines whether the freeway is going to come straight through your neighborhood and tear up your neighborhood. Your vote is important, and you must follow up your vote with your voice, your comments. And like I said, now you used to have to go to the office of the person, but now you can go to by email, or you can go by telephone call, or you can put it up on one of the social platforms. Make your voice, make your vote count. Your vote is your voice. And if you want politicians to do something for you, keep calling them. Keep making yourself annoying. Make yourself a nuisance. They will do anything just to try to get rid of you. All your goods and services depend on the value of your vote. So if you value your vote less, or you say you don't value your vote at all and you discard it, then when bad things occur in your community or in your environment or in your area, always remember, I didn't vote. I stayed home. I told other folks don't vote. And so your vote is vital. And not only in Pennsylvania are they putting up these roadblocks, mostly to affect the elderly, because they know the elderly may be able to vote, but they may get the date wrong. And so if you get the date wrong, then these precinct workers, like I said, you don't know, you're wrestling against spiritual wickedness in high places. So it may be your vote that they want to throw away. And don't you throw it away. You do your best to make your vote count. Like we said, that's what the Watchman is all about. All right. Even your ballot must be turned in by the deadline. Talk about absentee voting at the House. The point is to suppress the vote by any means necessary. Now they've done gerrymandering, and they've done redistricting in order to dilute the vote and suppress the vote. And so you have to be vigilant and watchful and aware that I've got this vote, and it's a powerful vote, and it's a valuable vote, and I got to cast it for the person of my choice or for the proposition of my choice. in order to try to make my neighborhood or my community better. All right. Okay. Second, the names on the buildings in Virginia. They're going back to the Confederate soldiers' names. You know, they had turned. I thought we had turned the corner on that. We were getting rid of schools named Robert E. Lee and the like. Traitors, people who were traitors who tried to overthrow the country, who suborned perjury and suborned treason. And so these people, Confederate soldiers, having lost the war, they won the war of hearts and minds. So that's why you had all of these statues built to people who really tried to overthrow the country. In contrast, as Brian Stevenson said, if you go to Germany, you will find no statues to Hitler. You will find no statues to Goebbels or Goering or none of those people, Nazis. You won't find a single statue in Germany. You will find a Holocaust museum, and but you will not find a memorial or a statue to any person, any Nazi, if you go to Germany. So why do we do that here? Why do we elevate the enemy and make him or her seem as though they were saintly and they tried to overthrow the nation? So in Virginia, they're restoring the names of Robert E. Lee and Nathan Bedford Forrest and Andrew Jackson and all of these fellows that tried to destroy this nation. And white supremacy has still not been diminished its hold on the nation. Is that right? So the Civil War memories are still haunting our present day. We could get rid of these. I remember when the mayor of New Orleans got ready to take down the statue of Robert E. Lee, which is a great big statue, and he got opposition from all of the Southerners that loved Robert E. Lee and thought like Robert E. Lee and practiced segregation even today like Robert E. Lee. And his name, the mayor was at that time was Mel Landrieu, and so he had to start that project at night after the people went to sleep, and the person that contracted took their names off of their trucks, off their vehicles, so the people wouldn't be able to know who is that out there taking down the statue of Robert E. Lee. And these, like I said, the United States, the North won the war, but physically, but then we let the Confederates, 5 minutes? Wow. Win the war of the hearts and minds. You know, the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. All right, I'm going to close out with the good news that Kamala Harris accepted the nomination to be President of the United States. You know, she's currently the Vice President of the United States, and when Joe Biden was convinced to step aside, he endorsed Kamala Harris to be the next President of the United States. And all of a sudden, the Democrats got wind beneath their wings. And they have been on a roll ever since. And I don't know whether you watched it. It was hard not to watch it because it was on every platform, not just the regular stations, but the cable companies, and then all the social media platforms, especially YouTube and the like. And Kamala Harris said, "I love our country with all my heart." It's called "This is the Country where anything is possible, that nothing is out of reach. Amen. And he says none of us has to fail in order that all of us may succeed. And of course, she's hitting back at the white supremacists who are always in the background. I tell you, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And so she was, without calling them by name, she was letting the white supremacists know, and all of that ilk that claimed that replacement theory, and those that hold that replacement theory, they are very vocal, and they are very aggressive and very belligerent, that they will not be replaced. That is a fear that Donald Trump has fanned in them, and when they see you behind a desk, they get upset when they see you not in the back of the bus but driving the bus, and come to find out you own the bus. That gets them very, very upset. And so she is saying that nobody has to fail in order for all of us to succeed. Like I said, without calling them by name, you know who she's talking to. And they are anxious and on edge, talking about the white supremacists in this nation and around the world. And it's just not the Klan. You got the Proud Boys, you got the Oath Keepers, you got the 3%ers, and you got groups that you don't even know about. And but they are out there, and they are being promoted, and they are against us and the like. And you're going to have to be aware that your enemy, as a roaring lion, going about seeking how he can throw you back. Used to call that the white backlash, but it ain't just the white folks no more. And so as I close out, if you are working on a job and they don't want to pay you, don't get yourself caught in the trap of living paycheck to paycheck just to have something to do. If you're working on a job and they don't want to pay you, take my advice and don't work for them. Thank you. I'm out of here, Doc. Thank you.